What is up, Schwartz Force? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at the Vario 1918 Trench Watch. This thing you want to stick around for. This is like everything you would want in a, I don't want to say reissue, but kind of bringing back a vintage watch. If you didn't want to own the vintage versions of a trench watch because of all of the cons associated to them, but you still wanted the look and feel, I mean, this thing nails it. Checks all the boxes. Now, a lot of other bigger channels have reviewed this watch already, so it's likely that you may have already seen those reviews. I don't want to do the same thing over, so I'm going to give you all the specs and then really just kind of tell you what I like about the watch and give you some beautiful B-roll footage to look at. All right, without further ado, let's get into it.
Hey, did you know it's a great day to wear a watch?
Okay guys, we're going to get into the 1918 Trench Watch by Vario, but first, how rude of me, I forgot to do our wristwatch check. It's a great day to wear a watch. Today I have on the Feist FM019. This is my AP Royal Oak homage, as you can see there with that blue tapisserie dial, and this thing is just a stunner. Love getting it on the wrist, and it's still holding up fine after even a year later. So I'll do an update video on this someday down the road. If you haven't seen my review on this watch, check it out up here. I highly recommend it. But we are here for the Vario Trench Watch. Now look at this thing. That black enamel dial, it just pops. I wish you could see it on camera. It's good, but in person, it's just so much nicer. It's like slick black, almost like car paint. Just looks so good. So real quick, one of the first things I want to mention, of course, is that this watch you can still get right now on pre-order for just under 300 bucks, and they are planning to be delivered around May or June of this year. So they have a bunch of different color options. Of course, you can switch it up between dial color. They even have a brass case option. This one happens to be the solid 316L stainless steel. The movement on this thing is great. It's the Miyota 82S5, which I love, has this screw down crown, and there's no ghost date function. So again, no date on the dial, and there is only position 1 to adjust the time. This does have hand winding, as you can see here. Then of course, when we pull the crown out, it does hack, which is awesome. And on the website, guys, check them out because they go into all the kind of history behind it. It talks about the rhodium type of paint that they used back in the day during, this is like World War I era, and obviously that's very toxic and would poison the painters. So this watch is using C3 Swiss Luminova. So even though it has that orange color, these are lumed, which is awesome. Same thing on the hands, as you can see, that cathedral style hour and minute hand. I love that elegant point that it comes out to there. And of course, I like that it extends all the way out to the chapter ring, which you can see has that railroad chapter ring look to it. This is just a watch, quick glance, you can see the time. Obviously, imagine trying to read the time on a watch this small with Roman numerals. This having the Arabic numerals, just very easy to see. I like that they just kept their branding very simple, printed there on the dial. And this black enamel dial just looks so good. The good thing about the modern enamel is, of course, it's resistant to cracking, hairline cracks, chipping, that type of thing. So again, one of the perks of getting this modern version instead of buying an actual vintage trench watch, that's going to be one of the pros. The other big pro is, of course, the water resistance. You're getting 100 meters of water resistance on this watch. And you can see that onion style crown is just done really nicely. Vario branding there with the V on the crown. When we look at the case back, you'll see that it is a brushed stainless steel case back. It has branding, and these are customizable as far as engraving, so keep that in mind. If there's a special person, event, logo, whatever that you want engraved on the case back, you can do that. Screw down case back, and then you'll see I love this case shape. It's kind of bulbous, but has that brushing all along the edge. We have high polish on the lugs, and then on this very thin bezel that connects to that domed sapphire crystal. Now, these lugs are wire lugs attached to the case directly, so sticking true to that kind of vintage look and vibe. So you know how back in the day they were using, I guess, pocket watches and putting lugs on them. and then strapping them onto their wrist. And using this bun strap, you really get that look and functionality of it. And these are all, I mean, this is just solid hardware. You have these screws that are held into this crazy horse leather, has that nice real vintage feel to it. One of the things I like about natural leather like this is over time it's going to get scuffed. If it gets wet or you sweat, all of that's going to help it develop a really nice patina. And if you don't like the bun strap, if that's just not your cup of tea, you can always do a single pass NATO. The dimensions, of course, on the case are 37 millimeters. You have that 4 o'clock position of the crown. That's good because that helps keep it from sticking out and getting knocked around. 10 millimeter case thickness. The dome sapphire crystals you can see there, almost no distortion when we look at it from an angle. You're just going to get some reflection when you have that domed sapphire like that. So just something to keep in mind. You know, the strap itself is really, really good. The quality of leather just feels awesome. You know, that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about this watch, having it on the wrist. Even though it's smaller, that 37 millimeter size, the bun strap really does allow it to wear a little bit better on a wrist. I would say under 8 inches, maybe 7 3/4 inches, probably the larger size that you would want to wear this bun strap on. The length of the strap is a little bit of an issue because it's a smaller lug to lug height, so that's going to shorten the distance even with this strap option. So you would probably want a longer strap if you have like an 8-inch wrist or longer or bigger. Smaller wrist gentlemen and ladies out there would really like this watch because it wears really nicely. If it was not on the bun strap, I had this on my wrist and I feel like it's just a tad too small. I think it's just more of getting used to it though, because 4 and 36 millimeter watches, and it's really just getting accustomed to that size coming from like a 42 or 44. It's a little bit of a adjustment, I would say. And then there you can see it on my 7-inch wrist. So the bun strap really does allow it to wear a little bit larger than it would without the strap. So it may take some getting used to if you haven't worn a bun strap before, but I definitely recommend it, especially with a watch like this. Just gives it a little more character. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a Lume shot, and you can see how this thing looks after it's been in the studio lights for a little bit. The Lume actually lasts a pretty good amount of time, so I do like that. Again, at this price point, you're getting really nice features. It's pretty much checking all the boxes that you would want out of a micro brand watch. You know, one thing I've always liked about Vario is that they tend to really do some cool micro brand watches. They don't really just do the same thing. And I love dive watches, but they don't just do dive watches over and over. They have the trench watch. They have the Art Deco series watch, which I really liked, and they had some cool color dial options. If I was not saving for my first luxury piece, you guys know, I would have definitely picked up the salmon dial automatic they had. They had that on sale about a month or two back. And I unfortunately had to, fight the urge and let it go to someone else to enjoy it. But that said, I think that the brand is just killing it, making some really cool designs. This one will ship out again May or June of this year, so make sure you go do your pre-order if you're interested in picking one up for yourself. I'll link the website down below so you can go check them out. It's not an affiliate link, just spreading the word. But let me know your thoughts on the watch. And of course, if you haven't joined the Schwartz Force yet, you got a second, go ahead and tap my face down here in the corner. That'll let you join the Schwartz Force family. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and check out this one up here. I think you'll really enjoy it. Other than that, I will look forward to seeing you guys at the next one. As always, may the Schwartz be with you. Take care.